Behind me are 24 boxes of 418,399 signatures that they're going to be submitting to the Secretary of State's office here in Tumwater. This is the office of the Secretary of State. This is actually the first submission of the first initiative by the Let's Go Washington group. And they've been out collecting signatures on 6 of these initiatives, and this is the first one that they're turning in. This is going to be initiative I-2117, which has to do with repealing the hidden carbon gas tax. And one of the reasons why gas has been costing a lot more in Washington State over the past year or so. So basically they need 325,000 signatures roughly in order to be valid. And with 418,000 plus that they're turning in today, that looks like that's more than enough to qualify, and they'll still be collecting signatures and submitting them on this one for the rest of the month, but this is the first one that they're turning in, and I'm hoping to do a couple more stories here about some of the future initiatives as they decide to start turning them in later on this month. So later in December, I should say. So anyway, it's exciting. The sponsor of the initiative, Brian Haywood, who I've interviewed before, is also here. We have some protesters over here who are involved in probably some of the grant grifting operations that the carbon tax helps fund them probably to do. But otherwise, this is exciting. I see a lot of volunteers here who have been involved in gathering signatures over the past few months.
Just turned in 418,399 signatures. And they're everyday commuter Washingtonians who just were getting penalized by this hidden tax. And I think that we probably agree with our friends over here on the left quite a bit in that we want the planet to be clean. We want a safe and clean environment. We don't want polluters to get off scot-free. And I think that what this, frankly, what the carbon tax does is it allows polluters to get off scot-free. They just pass the cost on to everybody that's driving every day to work. This isn't the end, this is the beginning, and we look forward to having more fun and seeing all of you guys back here again in a couple of weeks in December.
This is it. It's the first step in what's going to be a long and interesting year of normal people taking back the narrative of public policy in Washington. And really, we welcome everyone of goodwill who wants Washington to be the great place it can be. To live and to work and to raise a family. So join us. Join us in the people reasserting their control over their government. So my challenge to all of the legislators will be to listen to the people and consider this initiative. Because this cap and trade scheme, it does nothing to reduce carbon outputs. It doesn't stop pollution. Not on Earth, it doesn't. All it does is run up taxes. So let's repeal the tax scheme. And if we want to talk about reducing carbon outputs, let's do something that actually reduces pollution. You know, it's begun to be reported in our media about how the current governor has been ineffective in his supposed priorities of protecting the environment. And that by every metric that he himself set out, he has failed. Let's stop the failure. Let's stop the blarney. Let's be serious about public policy. This is the first step, just the first step, towards serious public policy. And as Brian said, we're going to be back because there are more steps. But it's so great to get this first step done. So thank all of you, and thank you, Brian. In fact, you should take it. The receipt's really yours. Thanks to Restore Washington, thanks to all of the partners who have worked together in this grassroots effort to do better in our law and our policy. This is great stuff. This is a great day. And as I said at the start, it's the beginning of what's going to be a great year in the state of Washington. So thanks, everybody.
All right, I'm here with Brian Haywood, primary sponsor of Let's Go Washington. And Brian, it's a big day. We actually got all of them turned in for the first one. And you have your receipt here to prove it. Show the camera. This is the actual receipt the Secretary of State gives you when you turn in enough signatures. Now, obviously, they're going to still validate it, so a bit of a process still to go through there. But how does it feel to be at least at the end of the beginning?
End of the beginning. Like I was telling you, as we were turning in the boxes, I'm not an emotional guy, but I almost started to tear up a little bit as we were putting the boxes on there, because it represented. Really, it's been a 2-year journey to get here, because we tested everything out last year and found out how not to do it.
Right.
And then this year, just to have the people jump in and to get it done this early, right, is really, really rewarding. I mean, that it suggests how interested people are in making a change.
And I think actually having some protesters here helps highlight the importance of this. I've always argued there's a lot of special interests that feed at the trough of this kind of attacks. And so I'm not surprised that they don't like their money spigot being turned off.
Well, and the interesting thing, I went back, as I was looking this back, I went back and, there was in 2009, 2016, and 2018, there were initiatives that were put on the ballot.
That's right.
To actually institute cap and trade, and it was rejected by the voters every time.
That's right.
But as I was going back down that memory hole, right, I was reading a bunch of articles, and there was one that was by this super green group and they were saying exactly what these guys were saying, right?
Right.
Polluters win, you lose. It was almost the exact phrase.
Right.
If you pass cap and trade.
Right.
Their argument for not passing cap and trade was polluters win and you lose. And I agree, right? I don't think you give them a free pass, and this sort of does on the backs of the little people, right? And just the everyday average person. So.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's taken a while to get here. There's a lot of people out here volunteering, collecting signatures still, but who at least know that their effort has finished here.
Yes,
or at least
and there's more to come. We've got out of our 2.5 million signatures that we need to get all 6 of them qualified, we're at about 2.2 million. Mm-hmm. That's enormous, right? I don't think anybody's been even close to that target before.
Right.
So we still have a little bit of a ways to go, but we've still got another 5-6 weeks that we can collect signatures, and we're going to be there.
So everybody's going home for Thanksgiving here in a couple days, and what message do you want to send to them?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and bring those signature sheets.
But more importantly, get some signature sheets, take them home to your family, and have a really great Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, thanks again. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Jim, it was a long time ago when you signed on this initiative. You sponsored it, got it in. How does it feel to actually finally be here, turning in way more signatures than we need at the Secretary of State's office?
It feels great, Glenn. This is a great day. I mean, this is a significant day. I'm serious for the future of public policy and politics in Washington State.
Yeah.
This is the people reasserting their voice in politics, in law, in public policy. It's a restoration of what's great about Washington State and the Washington State government, which is the people are always in charge. And our operation is very clear about that is what is going on here. So it's a great day. It's an energizing day.
Yep.
Basically, win or lose, we win today.
Right.
Because this initiative and the other sibling initiatives in the group are going to really define public policy priorities in Olympia for the next couple of months, maybe year and a half or so.
Right.
And that's a great thing, healthy thing.
Well, it felt good to be here with all the volunteers, turn them in. I saw the receipt that they gave you because as a sponsor, you're the one who actually has to
receive the physical, they give you a receipt, a piece of paper that says that the initiative petitions were delivered.
Right.
And so they did that in proper order. They actually had it pretty well organized here. I've been involved in a couple of these in years past, and it was not quite as well. They had it all set up. They had the rolling cages set up to receive the petitions, and it went very smoothly.
Yeah, I thought it did too. That was pretty smooth. Well, I guess we're going to see you back here again on another, hopefully, 5 more initiatives.
Yeah, we're going to try to stagger them out. I mean, working with Brian Haywood and Let's Go Washington and Restore Washington, they're trying to put some time and kind of stagger delivery of the initiatives.
Right.
That actually makes things a little easier for these guys and the Secretary of State.
Right.
And then it also gives each of the initiatives kind of its moment.
Sure.
So we can talk on a given day about, today it was cap and trade and getting rid of this horrible cap and trade tax. There'll be other issues, and we'll give each of those issues its moment to kind of be the topic. Right. And so I think it works all the way around.
Yeah, it's good. Well, Jim, it's good to see you here again today. Thank you.
Glenn, this is a good day for all of us, for liberty, for the Constitution of the state of Washington. And I mean, this is inclusive. Another thing we want to say to people is join us. Be part of this great process.
Right.
There's still time.
Yeah. Another month. Thanksgiving's coming up. What do you want to tell people? I know they've been talking about making sure you bring a signature packet to Thanksgiving. So
it's a happy thing. Yeah, I think these initiatives are so universally supported. They're not partisan. This is not Republican, Democrat. It's not liberal, conservative. These are just good common sense, make things work better reforms.
Right.
So yeah, take them to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Get your family to sign on. Even your angry uncle who's always yelling at everybody, he'll probably sign.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jim. It's always good to see you.
Great to see you, Glenn.
Yep. Oh, I got to get a photo first. I'm getting a photo first. Okay, guys. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, 3 years ago, I jumped in.
Yep.
And I said, we got to do something.
Right.
And so I engaged as a PCO.
Right.
And then I jumped in as president of the Camino Island Women's Republican Club.
Right.
Then I jumped in as vice chair because we have to do something. So it's important for us to engage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And you gave us that avenue when the initiatives last year came out.
Right. Yeah, we were all volunteering.
We were hitting it running.
Yep.
And then this year we're hitting it running again.
Yep.
So we already knew what to expect this year, so we were a little bit more familiar with it.
But I bet you feel good to turn them in, right? It feels good to actually get here to this point.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're finally here.
Yeah.
So any message you'd give to anybody else who's interested in helping?
Just talk to your neighbor.
Yeah.
Right? Talk to your neighbor. You'd be surprised on how many people don't even know about the initiative still, as we're turning in the gas tax, but they still don't even know about it. So just keep talking. I signed somebody up today over at the coffee shop.
Yep.
So we just keep on going.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's good. I'm glad you got him at the coffee shop. Well, it was good to be here at the first Let's Go Washington signature turn-in event in Washington State. And it was exciting to see some of the volunteers that I know and I've seen around the state. And it was good to see Brian Haywood, who was a sponsor of these initiatives, as well as of the PAC, and as well as Jim Walsh, who's actually the prime sponsor of the initiatives. So this is the first time there's ever been a signature event that's been turned in at this new office for the Secretary of State. So for the wonkish people out there, there's kind of some different elements to that. It was fun to see protesters here. That's always a sign that you're on the right path. When you can get those guys to protest you, they know that this initiative represents a distinct threat to their grant grifting operations that fund a lot of these people, probably that were here, and the ones that they represent. So this is an exciting opportunity. The legislature, of course, gets to consider these first. That's our next step in the process. And then most likely you'll be voting on these next November. And there's going to be 5 more, according to Let's Go Washington, that are going to be submitted in the course of the next month or so. But if you do have some of these signature packets at home, make sure that you bring them anywhere you have. Get those last signatures, you can turn them in. Those signatures can be turned in all the way till the end of December. Go to the Let's Go Washington site if you want to know more. And otherwise, we'll keep you appraised as to what's going on in Washington State.